Hi. Hello. So, today I'm reading a short story. I've been trying to read up on this author, but I'll read the bio from the book because I first noticed this author at a writing competition that took place last year. Gamafile or Gamafile. Yeah, I could never get the name right, but I took notice of him. Hello. His name is Gerald Thompson. So he has a story that was long listed in here, shortlisted. So today, because today it's Wednesday and it's Gerald Kraak Anthology Wednesdays, I'm gonna read from this anthology. There's 3 volumes. Last week I read from the second volume. All the stories are loaded on IGTV and on the YouTube channel. So I've been reading from hi Ole. I've been reading from these every Wednesday. Yesterday we had feminist reading, which is also uploaded, and Mondays we had New Daughters of Africa, this anthology, which is another amazing book, an amazing anthology. These ones are stories on African perspectives on gender, social justice, and sexuality. So there's 3 volumes. I'm sure 2020 will see a 4th volume coming up. I've been reading through these for a while. So if you've been missing out on the live reads, they are uploaded on the YouTube channel and on IGTV. So today I decided to read from Gerald Thompson. He was a finalist for this writing competition, like I said. So I've noticed that the Johannesburg Review of Books has a few of his short stories up on there. So you can just check JRB for his work. This I haven't read, but yeah, I think I've read a few of the stories in here. So I thought maybe let me just read something from him. Let me read his bio. This here is Gerald Thompson. That's him at the bottom. Yep, that's Gerald. Gerald Thompson's poetry has been published in Typecast, Poetry Potion, Outcast Magazine, The Aesthetic Apostle, Sky Island Journal, Best New African Poets Anthology of 2016, New Contrast Literary Journal, and Allegar's Journal. One of his poems was long-listed for the Sol Blaikie Award and Anthology of Poetry in 2017. So, yeah. And his chapbook, Universes and Paradoxes, was shortlisted for the Kingdom in the Wild Poetry Prize. Another chapbook of poetry, Twilight People, is forthcoming in 2019, online via Praxis Magazine. His fiction appears in Typecast, New Contrast Literary Journal, The Rainy Day Literary Journal, Image Outright, the Johannesburg Review of Books, and the 2018 Writivism Mentoring Anthology, Transcending the Flame. His short story, Changing Eyes, was longlisted for the Commonwealth Short Story Prize. So he's pretty, he's a solid writer. And yeah, also that shortlist for Gamapile. So maybe just check that, Gamapile. That was also a shortlist. He is a very accomplished writer. Yes, Ule says he's a very accomplished writer. He is amazing. So I'm going to be reading from Semen in the Sun. The title, well, I was like, okay. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have been following the readings, but The Heart of the Matter is the 3rd volume, and the head judge, who is Sisonke Msemang, who was the head judge for all 3 anthologies, and I don't know if it's head judge or the editor-in-chief for the anthology. I need to actually get my facts right, but anyway, Queen Sisonka is part of this. That's all that matters. She says about the heart of the matter. The heart of the matter gets precisely to the core of ensuring that our great-great-grandchildren will find traces of us that reflect the magnificence and ordinariness of who we are today. These stories are a nod to the small, ordinary loves and the little moments and the tiny victories that make life big and beautiful and survivable. And the Gerald Kraak Anthology and the award is a joint initiative between the Other Foundation and the Jacana Literary Foundation. And I know that if you are able to support Jacana in any way, they are actually appealing to members of the public to help out with pressing print for all the publications that are meant to be printed this year due to the COVID pandemic happening and everything just taking a halt. So maybe just go on to jacana.co.za and check out how you can support them. All right, so here is Semen in the Sun. Why'd you have to be so fucking disgusting? Tebo beat his fist on his roommate's door. Mfana opened the door to find Tebo waving a used condom in the air. You left this nicely tucked away in the couch. Am I your maid? He continued shouting at the expressionless Mfana, whose red eyes suggested he had just woken up. Man, you know how it goes. Things happen when you're cuddling and your lady's ass is positioned so warm and nice against you. Mfana laughed, unashamed that his semen was catching the afternoon light. You know what? Fuck off, winner. I've dealt with your bullshit for long enough. If it's not your shit swimming in the toilet bowl, it's your pubic hairs caught in my razor. I can't take this anymore. Tsepo opened Mfana's hand, squashing the condom into his palm. It was warm. Where are you going to go? You're not going to get a better room in Brum for this price, my brother. Mfana sniggered as Tsepo walked across the corridor to his bedroom and started packing his bags. Accommodation in Braamfontein was easy to come by. It all depended on what one could withstand and for how long. After 2 desperate days of searching, Tsepo finally settled on a 2-bedroom flat near the bottom of Braamfontein, overlooking a shebeen run by a Zimbabwean man nicknamed Mandingo, for obvious reasons. Tsepo mused. It was a Friday when he went to check out the new flat. So, that's the bathroom. No bath, unfortunately, just a shower. But the shower head's nice. This is your room. Eric, a Zimbabwean who had been staying in the flat. Hold on, I just remembered something. Sorry. Hi, everybody. Let me see. Okay. Hello. Sorry about that. Okay. Eric, a Zimbabwean who'd been staying in the flat for a year, showed Tsepo around the place. Eric was tall and lean with a small afro. There was a curved path on one side of the afro, which, when paired with the basketball sneakers he frequently wore, gave him a decidedly urban look. My cousin sells them there in Fox Street. I can get you dirt cheap Jordans if you want. It's Hong Kong, obviously, but who knows the difference? Having seen Eric's room, Tsepo imagined his would be around the same size. He was wrong. The room Eric showed him looked like a concrete cubicle cut into the side of the flat. The owner thinks they can score a quick buck if they use as much space as possible to house people. Fucking capitalism for you. Eric grinned in an odd way, almost as if he'd been conspiring with the owner. Eric was trying to be polite, but his was the kind of overzealous politeness that put people on the edge. He had been struggling to maintain a roommate for longer than 3 months. Each new one would stay up until the point they realized that Eric had no qualms about hounding his roommate about the need to keep the bathroom and kitchen spotless at all times. With the rent and prepaid electricity being as expensive as they were, Eric desperately needed someone to share the flat's expenses. The night he moved in, Tshepo and Eric sat on the balcony drinking wine. Eric had bought the wine as a token of goodwill to welcome his new roommate. "So how come the roommates you've had have come and gone?" Tshepo asked as they looked out at the shebeen across the road. "Well, to be honest with you, I'm a germaphobe, and most of the people who come to stay here can't handle my nagging ways." He took a gulp of his wine and refilled Tshepo's glass with the last from the bottle. "Funny you say that," said Tshepo. "How come?" Tshepo told Eric about the Mfana condom debacle, which had eventually led him to leave his previous apartment. He laughed as Tshepo described his previous flat as a cesspool of sweat and sex. His laugh was boisterous and unabashed, and it touched Tshepo in a way he had not expected. What Tshepo didn't know about Mfana was that the semen-filled condom found in the couch was not from sex with his girlfriend. It was a complicated story. Mfana had been attempting to seduce Alyssa, a colored girl he had had his eye on for 4 months. If anyone knew Mfana, they'd know that this amount of concentration on one woman bordered on obsession. But Alyssa was no easy prize. She was a curly-haired, freckled wonder who commanded any space she walked into. As lead actress in the Wits drama department, Mfana first fell in lust with her when she played the lead in Ethel Fugard's Boesman and Lena. And even as Lena, a homeless woman suffering the worst indignities of apartheid, Alyssa still exuded a beauty that was hard to ignore. This was what drew Mfana to her. It was simple but true. Roses and thorns grow side by side. Mfana's appreciation for Alyssa was complicated unexpectedly when he spotted her at Great Dane one Saturday night. I actually like how Jared describes his environment, because it's places that we know, like it's he's very descriptive and like in familiar spaces. That's what I liked about it, because I know it's Bram, everybody knows Great Dane, and you can picture the whole scene and the scenery around the whole student flats and like struggling looking for accommodation. So what are you drinking? Mfana asked as he approached her from a dark corner. She'd broken away from her group of friends to order drinks at the bar, and he decided that this was his moment. "Jack and Coke, you?" she said. She leaned her elbow on the bar counter and brushed a handful of curls from her face. Luckily for Mfana, Great Dane was filled to capacity that night, giving him ample excuse to get uncomfortably close to Alyssa. She didn't seem to mind. In fact, her smile broadened as the heat coming off his body met hers. "Let me buy you and your girlfriends around," he smiled, but not too broadly. Conscious of the gap in his mouth where a molar had to be extracted, he pulled out his bank card and paid for their drinks. When he handed the glass to Alyssa, their hands touched, and he was surprised by how aroused he got. He would pursue her until she relented. Mfana hung out with Alyssa and her friends the whole night, buying round after round of drinks. He was keenly aware that the more drinks he bought, the fewer meals he would be eating the following week. Like to be a student sometimes. I mean, you're sacrificing meals here for like girls. Hey, He knew that bedding Alyssa wasn't guaranteed, but he relished in the thrill of chasing a woman who seemed way out of his league. Fortune favored Mfana and his wallet that night. He'd managed to show just the right amount of charm and money to the group of ladies to impress them, and so at the end of the evening, Mfana and Alyssa went back to his room. This one girl, he's a real charmer boy, Alyssa's friend Linda whispered in her ear. Oh, okay, so they whispering. They eyeing him, you know? Whispered in her ear when Mfana had left to buy another round of drinks. He's not that much of a looker, but he's got a confident swag that I like. Alyssa giggled back, biting on her straw and imagining herself in all kinds of positions under Mfana's lean body. See, the drinks. That night hadn't gone according to plan. Alyssa left Mfana's place, moist between her thighs, but thoroughly unsatisfied. She left him in his bedroom, staring hopelessly at the lifeless penis between his legs. She had asked Mfana to use a condom. The girls he'd been with before had never insisted. They had let him do things his way. But then again, those girls didn't compare to Alyssa. What's wrong? She had asked, lying flat on her stomach, her back arched in a way that made the dimples on her lower back look like a landing strip for his pleasure. I can't. I'm sorry. He had drunk too much at Great Dane, and the extra layer of latex was not helping the situation. Jared is so descriptive. You know, students, guys. Yeah. They're allergic to a latex border. Like he's literally describing everything. Oh gosh. He had drank too much at Great Dane, and the extra layer of latex was not helping the situation. The next day, Mfana woke up around 11 and walked to the nearest Shell garage. He bought 2 packs of Durex condoms and returned to his flat. He jerked off into a condom, imagining the rise and fall of Alyssa's body. Shame. He'd managed to come in the first condom and was about to start on his second when Tsepo banged on the front door. Hey brah, what's the latch on the door? Why is the latch on the door? Tsepo shouted, his hand jiggling the handle. Surprised, Mfana stashed the condoms away into a plastic packet. Unfortunately, he missed the semen-filled condom, which had slipped between the couch pillows. There's the explanation for the opening of the story. Oh my god. It was a month after Tsepo moved into his new flat when Linda and Eric crossed paths at an internet cafe next to Mandingo's Shebeen. Eric was printing out lecture notes for an economics class when he caught Linda's eye as she walked in. She had the hard-toned body of a track athlete. Her hair was cut short and she wore a pink bandana around her head, giving her a sporty flair. Eric was not the type of guy to approach a woman, especially in a public setting. But this time, he didn't have to do anything. Linda approached him. I'm sorry, could you help me? It's not letting me sign in, Linda said to Eric, sitting down at the computer next to his. Oh, here, I think you need to refresh the page. Eric placed his hand on top of Linda's, maneuvering the computer mouse around the screen. There you go, all fixed. Eric beamed, comforted by the fact that she had not pulled her hand immediately away from him. A month later, Eric and Linda went on their first date. Sunday rooftop salsa events in Maboneng were synonymous with hip-thrusting beats and caipirinhas. It was at one of these salsa events where Eric introduced Linda to Tsepo. The lubrication of alcohol, salsa music, and Tsepo's natural charm made it easy for Linda to get on with him. Seeing the girl he liked and the guy he admired get on so well made Eric ease into his environment and enjoy himself. He felt as though he was starting to find some kind of rhythm in the chaos of central Joburg. Tsepo, this is Tasha, said Linda, introducing Tsepo to her friend, a short, colored girl who wore all black with striking red boots. Those are some boots you got there, said Tsepo. They're my salsa boots. Tasha winked, turning away from him before he could respond and headed towards the bar. He felt compelled to follow her, even though he already had a drink in his hand. An hour later, Tsepo had Tasha in his arms, their hips grinding as the sun dipped somewhere at the edge of the city. Oh, rooftop vibes, guys. Oh, we miss the outside life. Yo, Batung. Not that I used to go to rooftop vibes, but I can just picture it like the Joburg sun, drinks, you know that vibe. Oh, gosh. Anyway, later that night, Tsepo and Eric shared a cigarette on the cigarette. I can't imagine what people who used to smoke are going through right now. Sharing a cigarette on the balcony of their flat, they smoked in silence, watching a fat man stagger out of Mandingo's shebeen into the streets of Bram. He looks like he is over his troubles. More like he's over life. Tsepo passed Eric a smoke, looking back into the flat to make sure the ladies were still asleep. Linda makes a lot of noise, huh? Said Eric, making Tsepo cough out a laugh. Let me tell you, bruh, Tasha is a wild one. Why you say that? Tsepo lifted up his shirt, revealing the scratch marks on his back that Tasha had left on him. Looks like you were giving it to her good. Eric traced one of the stretch marks with his finger. This is a deep one. She almost drew blood. These girls, man. They expect you to be all sweet, soft, and romantic, but in the bedroom, you gotta man up and take what's yours. Tsepo dropped his shirt and took the cigarette from Eric. What can we do? We gotta give them what they want, man. And hope to God they're thinking about our dick inside them and not some other asshole that broke their heart. Eric and Tsepo stood on the balcony for another 20 minutes, watching half-stooped drunkards go in and out of Mandingo's shebeen. The first time Mfana saw Tsepo after he moved out was at a street party in Newtown. The party was in a wide alley and the walls on either side were covered with graffiti. Mfana was admiring the street art in the same way artsy types did at galleries. He was particularly drawn to the image of a man caught in the grips of a large snake with multiple eyes. Mfana contemplated the image for a while, feeling like he knew what the artist was trying to say, even though he couldn't put it into words. He'd been at the party for over an hour when he spotted Alyssa on the other side of the dance floor. It occurred to him that this might be his chance to recover some of his lost dignity. If he could get her to come home with him again, he knew he would be able to prove himself. This time he felt prepared. He'd practiced coming in condoms a number of times and had even stopped watching porn to build up his horniness. Mfana had even sought the help of one of those guys with a little office above a hair salon who had sold him a strange-smelling cream that he was to smear onto his penis just before sex. He'd been promised that the cream would make him rock hard for hours. Mfana moved across the dance floor to get a better view of Alyssa. As he got closer, he saw that Alyssa was in the arms of another man. The sight of her head nestled on his chest broke Mfana in a way that surprised him. There had been plenty of other times when things hadn't worked out with women and he had barely even hung out with Alyssa. But something felt different this time. He was angry. He felt a rage building up, constricting his breathing, forcing the blood away from his brain and making its way into his fists. Mfana decided the best thing to do would be to leave the party. He took one last look in Alyssa's direction, wanted to make sure that he was making the right decision. Boys, she was still there on the dance floor, but he could see that the person she was dancing with wasn't a man. The stranger holding and kissing Alyssa had turned slightly, and he could see clearly now. Alyssa was dancing with a woman. Mfana stormed over, wading into the middle of the dance floor. "What the fuck, Alyssa? Who's this?" "Oh, hey, this is Tamara, my girlfriend," said Alyssa. Yes, Winagale. Tamara was tall and skinny, with long brown dreads that she tied into a ponytail down her back. Your fucking girlfriend?" Mfana was screaming. "What the fuck, bruh? Calm down," Tamara said. "You telling me like this over me? Oh, you telling me you like this over me?" Mfana couldn't seem to control his voice. He turned and grabbed Alyssa by the wrist. "What did you say?" Tamara stepped up toward him. Mfana swung, his fist connected directly with Tamara's jaw. "Leave her alone," Alyssa punched him in the chest. He didn't feel it though. His rage consumed him. Now all that existed was his fist and the bruised manhood swinging between his thighs. Ugh, Lord. "Mfana!" a voice shouted. When Mfana turned round, he saw Tsepo with Eric, Linda, and Tasha standing next to him. Caught between the eyes of Tsepo and Alyssa, who'd both witnessed what he'd done, his rage cuddled at the back of his throat. "Tsepo, see what these women make us do? They take me for a fool," Mfana said, his eyes turning watery and translucent. "Just walk away, man," said Tsepo. The former flatmates stared each other down until Mfana spoke. "You know what? I expect this from you." Taking her side. "You wouldn't understand anyway." "What does that mean?" "Never mind," Mfana said, walking away. There was a lot Mfana wanted to tell Tsepo that night. See, back home in Beaufort West, Mfana knew exactly who he was and who he was going to be. But when his father had decided to support his move to Joburg and his dream of studying at Wits, he was admittedly scared. He was scared because he'd never been that far away from home, and when he finally arrived in Brum, he realized he didn't know who he wanted to be. He felt that Johannesburg told a man to be so many different, irreconcilable things that eventually some men were left coddling themselves with their dicks and fists. But Tsepo didn't seem confused. In Tsepo, Mfana saw an intelligent, sophisticated young man who was able to move through the world with an ease that shamed him. He felt this shame the first time he hung out with Tsepo on Wits campus. The man moved with such precision through so many disparate social groups. The engineering students who thought they were modern messiahs. The way I just remembered something about engineering students. Kumbu says, the story is reminding me of my youth days at Bloom. Life was so easy then. Hey, Kumbu. Hey. I miss home. Oh gosh, Kumbu. I spoke with someone today who's in Bloom, and I was like, there's so many changes going around in Bloom. And they were like, yeah, it's because you hardly ever come home. I'm like, anyway. Okay, so this scene is actually describing the different kinds of students. The creative BA undergrads bemoaning the human condition, the stressed out medical students who slept every chance they got. Tsepo had a way with people, a confidence that Mfana could only try to find in the bedroom again and again each week with any girl that would have him. In time, his bedroom reputation had become legendary. Wow, that's sad. Mfana's prowess was a sought-after commodity among the sophisticated Wits girls who'd wanted someone who was good in bed but who didn't require an emotional attachment. At first, Mfana reveled in the attention, loving the player label, but after that night with Alyssa, he began to see how precarious it all was. The more he thought about his failure in bed, the harder it became to think about sex with anyone but Alyssa. She became his sphinx, an answer to a question that lay embedded in the semen-filled condom, which became the final straw that pushed Tsepo away. Having sex with her again became a way to prove to her and himself that he was a man. I can't believe that guy. To be so touched because Alyssa was with a girl and not him. Linda shook her head as the four of them entered Tsepo's bedroom. Men these days, just trash, Tasha replied. Tsepo and Eric rolled their eyes at each other. Of course she doesn't mean you two. You guys are good ones, said Linda, drawing close to Eric and kissing him on the cheek. His body stiffened unexpectedly at Linda's touch. She drew away from him, confused. It's late. You guys should call a taxify, said Eric, noticing that Tsepo was unusually quiet. He's right. Let's go, girl, Tasha said, gesturing to Linda that she had had enough of the guys for one night. The ladies left, and Eric and Tsepo were alone in the room. Tsepo rested in the dim light while Eric played some music and scrolled through his Twitter feed. Eric savored these moments with his roommate when the two of them didn't have to speak to each other. Guys, I like how they've got an understanding with one another as well. I had a roommate in Bloom as well who and we became so close actually, because we had that comfortable silence, you know. But yeah, anyway, it was a comfortable silence he'd struggled to find with any of the women he dated. Tsepo couldn't stop thinking about Mfana. What had he meant by him not being able to understand? He thought he knew his ex-roommate. He was a player, a fuckboy whose only goal in life was to accumulate money and women. Imagine, like women are possessions. But seeing Mfana's eyes stare him down, he caught a glimpse of something softer. Are you okay? You've been very quiet ever since we got back, said Eric, moving closer to Tsepo. That whole situation with Mfana, it's bothering me. We can't really know why people do the things they do. You're right. Can I tell you something? Shwa. I'm so glad the girls left when they did. They were getting on my nerves. I think we were getting on their nerves more. They both laughed wearily, their bodies sinking down into the bed sheets. You want to watch something? There's a new episode of Insecure out. Yeah, bring your pillow from your room. I need to get out of my own head. The pair sat side by side in Tsepo's bed watching Insecure. Tsepo had fallen asleep 10 minutes into the episode, his head inching towards Eric's shoulder. By the end of the episode, Eric had dozed off too. As both men slept side by side, their bodies shifted, curled, moved, slid, until they lay twisted and coiled around each other. It was almost sunrise when, laying face to face, they kissed in between waking and sleep. It was a kiss that neither of them would accurately remember, one that could easily be denied and misremembered. There's a lot of the story. It's still continuing, like for 5 other pages or so. So yeah, that was it. I'm gonna stop. I am actually gonna stop, but I enjoyed it. I am gonna read it. I am gonna finish reading it. I hope you enjoyed it. That was today's read of the Gerald Kraak Anthology, which is stories on African perspectives, on gender, social justice and sexuality. And yeah, that was Jared Thompson's Very juicy. Zintathu says that this is juicy. And how beautiful is his writing, right? Yes. So please maybe check out his short stories on I just realized that I never shared a pinned tweet, a pinned comment of the author. His name is Gerald Thompson, and that was it, guys. Let me try and read the comments. Semen in the Sun, yeah, that's what it's called. And earlier on this afternoon, I was actually reading something of his from the Joburg Review of Books. The Johannesburg Review of Books. I don't know why do I call it the Joburg. But yeah, this short story, Letters to a Heart's Chambers, is also on the Johannesburg Review of Books. So I'm trying to read some online stories to see if I can actually like fit them into the hourly reads, just to like, you know, switch things up a bit and not read from the collection that I already have. Which is I've actually read most of them anyway, sampled them for the live reads. So yeah, I'm trying to read like from online readings like every Thursday and Friday. So yeah, today was the last day for reading from books. Tomorrow I'll probably read from an online magazine. Yeah, there is something that I actually want to sample for you guys. Maybe you can actually check out that author tomorrow afterwards. But yeah, Letters to a Heart's Chambers also features on the Johannesburg Review of Books. So I was busy reading that, and then I realized that I actually have to go out. So I haven't finished it, but it's beautifully written as well. Jared is an amazing, amazing writer. This is his second story to appear in the JRB. So yeah, maybe check that out. So let me see if there are any comments. So Ole was laughing and Kumbu said the stories reminding me of our youth days in Bloom. Life was so easy, guys. Rejadi Stadium wings. Very cheap. Basically, like we'd pull money together, my friend, oh my gosh, guys, it was amazing. Yeah, Zintadu said reminds me of varsity. And Kumbi says, I wonder if Village Square still exists. Every day was like a TV show. Listen, I'm sure it still exists. There's no way it doesn't exist. I mean, the drama there. Hey. Love Insecure. That's what Zintatu said. I haven't watched Insecure because I actually tried to watch Insecure a while ago, like downstairs on the TV, and yeah, I can't. It needs to be watched on the laptop with headphones on. Yeah, I think Zintatu will know. Like, if you watch Insecure, you'll know. Oh, I couldn't, so I need to watch it. But I saw that they've been nominated for like 8 awards. Woo! So I need to catch up on it. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I love everything that is in these volumes. Like, I would suggest you go to Loot right now if you haven't already and just go buy your copy. I know one issue I actually got from Jacana, and one I bought from Love Books at a sale, and the other I bought at this one I bought at the Jacana book sale last year. But yeah, you can find them online. They are on Take-A-Lot, they are on Loot, they are on Exclusive Books. They should be. But yeah, there's 3 volumes. We're waiting for the 4th one because this was 2017, 2018, 2019. Yeah. Don't want yeah. No, like Zintatu, oh gosh, yeah, Insecure. No, but it was nighttime, but you know, Lord. But yes, this story that we just read now, Semen in the Sun, I liked the play of the title, and how once you start reading it, you actually make sense of it, of the story, of the title, and it's early in the story that you actually make sense of the title. So that's what I love about it, and I love how Jared is so descriptive in his painting the picture of youth and what young people go through, you know. So in just that one reading of half a story, half of a short story, I've already seen like there's a struggle of students and money and, like, you know, rationing things, you know, and already one is taken back to the student days and how everything, it's just nostalgia, you know. And yeah, like even with this short story in the Johannesburg Review of Books, like, guys, just check out Gerald Thompson. Sure, he is amazing. I haven't watched Insecure. I only watch kid friendly shows. Same here, Kumbu. Same here. Okay, guys, that was it. I have to go. It's 45 minutes into this live. I hope you enjoyed it. I have to go and cook. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you guys for joining me. I really, really appreciate it. If you are watching this afterwards, I hope you've enjoyed it. And yeah, tomorrow I will load up this video onto YouTube. But that's it for tonight. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 5 for another online magazine reading of Zintathu says, Umpi, you and Bookamoso are not good for my wallet. I want most of the books we've read live. They're so beautiful and so important, guys. Like yesterday's book, More Than Enough. More Than Enough. Actually, my friend Patu, who is a co-founder of Literary Alliance Book Club, said she had just bought the book the day before or yesterday as well, but she didn't join the live. So it was such a coincidence that I read this yesterday when everyone had gotten the copy. Like, listen, you are gonna buy books, okay? But you got like a whole bunch of, like, guys, if you haven't been aware, Bargain Books is having like a massive sale on some of the titles. $70 is nothing. You can buy 3 books, $240 this month, next month as well, $240. Then you're done. Like, you've got 6 books, you know, 6 books for the rest of the year, 1 book for the next 6 months. See? So get buying. I love you guys. Thank you for joining me. I will see you tomorrow at 5. Unami says, I will definitely watch the live because I also bought it, but I haven't started it yet. Please watch the live. I read the prologue from Ava DuVernay, and I read the intro. So, oh, that was beautiful. I'm like, I can't wait to read this. I can't wait to finish Bomb Boy. I'm still reading Bomb Boy this month, and Saturday we're having a book discussion on Ayobami Adebayo's Stay With Me. I've read it before, but I just want to join the live after discussion just to, you know, get everybody else's opinion on it. So I'm looking forward to Book Club Saturday, this Saturday with Literary Alliance. If you're not following them, you will be able to on Instagram. Please do that. But yeah, please go subscribe onto the Bookamoso Book Club YouTube channel. I will be running the competition. I know I said last week, but guys, COVID and life. So I will be giving away a book and something for YouTube followers, YouTube subscribers. So yeah, you have to be here on the live when I announce the giveaway and when I post it on the timeline, and then subscribe. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow at 5. Bye. Thank you.